YouTube, what is going on? Welcome to the video. In this video, we are going to be talking about the top 5 reasons why you are in a calorie deficit, but you are not losing weight on the scale. So we're gonna cover the top 5 main reasons. Number 5, I know for a fact you are doing, and you probably know you're doing too, so you need to hear this. Also give a bonus disclaimer at the end of the video as well, so stick around for that. But I would say at least 5 to 15 times a day, whether on Instagram or my emails or my TikTok or comments in the YouTube videos, I have the conversation of something to the effect of, Eric, I swear I'm in a calorie deficit. I swear I'm only eating 1,200 calories, but I'm not losing weight. What do I do? So in this video, I want to give you the top 5 reasons for why that you are in a calorie deficit but not losing weight. All right, let's dive right in. The first and the most common reason for why you think you are in a calorie deficit but you are not losing weight is you are not tracking calories accurately. If there is one thing I have seen time and time and time and time again, is that most people just either A, don't know how to track calories accurately, and or B, just aren't doing it. Let me make this very clear. If you are, let's say you're using MyFitnessPal. If you are just typing in chicken breast and putting 4 ounces, if you are just typing in 100 grams of rice or 1 cup of rice or 1/2 cup of oatmeal, and you're not weighing your food on a food scale, you have no clue how many calories you are eating. You are simply just guessing. If you are going to guess, you are going to get guess-worthy results. Do not be upset if you are not seeing results, because if you are not tracking calories accurately, then you will not be able to accurately know how many calories you are eating. So if you think you're eating X amount of calories and you think that's supposed to be a calorie deficit, if you are not weighing your food on a food scale in grams, then you have no clue how many calories you are eating. And I'm saying this because I want you to win. I want you to succeed, but it's just the truth. So many people come to me on a daily basis and say, I don't know why I'm not losing weight. I'm eating this many calories. I'm like, okay, cool. Send me a picture of your food scale. They're like, oh, I don't use a food scale. And I'm like, okay, so you have no clue how many calories you're actually eating. You're just guessing. And they're like, good point. So you have to, number one, before anything else I talk about here, you have to make sure you are accurately counting calories. If you don't know how to do that, and or if you're hearing this right now and you're like, what do you mean? Like, I just guesstimate, or I just use cups, or I just use ounces. You have to weigh your food on a food scale in grams. I'm going to put a video right up here that I did, that literally I send this exact video to my online coaching clients. I send this to them because this is exactly how you should be tracking calories. This will give you everything you need. If you're sitting there right now, you're like, well, why should I use grams and why do I need a food scale and so on and so forth? This video will explain everything for you. So please go check that out after you're done watching this video, because it's very, very important. So bookmark that or something, check that out after this video. But that being said, the number one reason is you're not tracking calories accurately. You think you're eating 1,500 calories, but in reality, number one, you have no clue. You could be eating 1,700, you could be eating 2,000, you could be eating 2,500. The point being, you have no clue. So you have to put in the extra 5 or 10 minutes a day to use your food scale, to weigh your food out on a food scale in grams, and make sure you know you are accurately tracking calories. You won't have to do this every day for the rest of your life. Let me repeat myself. You will not have to weigh your food on a food scale every single day for the rest of your life. That is not what I expect you to do. It's not what I expect my clients to do. It's not what I do. But for a short period of time, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever it ends up being, you will use this food scale and you will learn about food. You will learn, oh, this is about 100 grams of a chicken breast. This is about 100 grams of cooked rice. This is about 100 calories. That's about 25 grams of protein. You'll learn these things. So when you learn these things, you can then take that into the rest of your life to where you won't have to use a food scale every single day for the rest of your life. But up front, especially in the beginning, you have to do this. It's a non-negotiable. If you want to see the results you want to see, you have to take the extra step and do this, especially up front in the beginning, okay? So that's number one. Number two, kind of piggybacking off the last point, you're not tracking the bites, you're not tracking the snacks, you're not tracking your cooking oils, you're not accurately tracking the small things that you think are not adding up. Like for example, 1 tablespoon of olive oil is about 14 grams of fat, roughly 120 calories, okay? So let's say that you use olive oil for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Let's just say you do. Now, that is 360 calories that you are not tracking towards your daily calorie allotment because you're not tracking the cooking oils that you use, whether you're using it for your breakfast or for a wrap or for chicken or for eggs, whatever. You're not tracking your cooking oils. So that could be one reason. Number 2, let's say you take a bite off your kid's plate here and there and you have some goldfish, or you have some chips, or you have some of the dessert, or you have some of this and some of that. And you're just taking random little bites throughout the day. You're having, a bite or two here and there from this meal, or you're having a bite or two here and there from that meal. You're just having a little quick handful of nuts here and there. All that stuff adds up. If it's 40 calories here, and then 60 calories here, and then 80 calories there, and 50 calories here, throughout not only a day, but throughout the entire week, all those calories continuously add up. So let's just say, for example, you missed 360 calories from oils, and now you're missing, let's say, 200 calories from random bites, random snacks, random things you're not tracking because they're too small throughout the day, which, by the way, this happens so often you would not even imagine. That's already about 560 calories that you are not accounting for. So again, you think you're eating 1,200 calories, you think you're eating 1,400 calories, but in reality, you're not tracking, especially those small things that you think are not adding up. I don't care. Like, I tell my clients this all the time. I don't care if it's an ice cube. Fucking track it. Just track it. Why not? Especially earlier on. Track everything early on. I don't care if it's a condiment. I don't care if it's a soda. I don't care if it's milk. I don't care if it's oil. I don't care if it's random bites. I don't care if it's 4 goldfish. I don't care. Track it, because you are going to, this does 2 things. Number 1, it gets you an accurate calorie count, but also number 2, I'm pretty sure, if you got to track 4 goldfish, I can oftentimes assure you, you're probably like, okay, I don't need that goldfish. Okay, I don't need this. I don't need that. And then automatically you start cutting calories through osmosis because you have to make sure you hold yourself accountable to tracking every single bite and snack that goes into your mouth. Again, I cannot tell you how common this is. So please, please, please audit the tracking you are doing, not only weighing your food on a food scale, but as well as, making sure you are doing all the bites, all the snacks, all the oils, everything. Everything goes into your mouth. I don't care if it's an ice cube, track it, especially for right now. If you're watching this video, you're probably frustrated, you're not seeing results. Track every single thing. Got it? The 3rd reason, you are eating back the calories you burned through your exercise. This is a big no-no if you are looking to lose weight, because a few reasons. Number 1, I did a whole separate video on this on YouTube here. Feel free to go watch that. I go way more in depth on that video if you want to learn more about this. But the synopsis is, number 1, those trackers that you are using to track your calories burned, whether it's your phone, whether it's the treadmill at the gym, whether it's your Apple Watch or your Fitbit, they are wildly inaccurate. Like, actually, some studies have shown they're up to 92% inaccurate. So if your thing says you burned 500 calories, for example, in reality, let's say you only actually burned 250, but you are like, oh sweet, I burned 500 calories for my cardio session. I'm gonna go eat some more peanuts. I'm gonna go eat some more donuts. I'm gonna go eat some more, I'm gonna go eat more because I burned more. When in reality, this is backfiring on you because you're not actually burning that many calories, because truthfully, exercise does not burn that many calories. So you're eating back these calories that you think you burn, and that's causing you to not be in a calorie deficit because you're not actually burning those calories. So again, if your deficit's say 1,500 and you're eating 2,000 because you think, oh, if I burn 500 calories from my run or from my cardio, I can go eat more food, it's a big no-no, because there's just no way to know how many calories you burn through exercise. There's ways to guesstimate, but again, those guesstimates are incredibly inaccurate most times. So if you're looking to lose body fat, do not take into account how many calories you burn through your exercise. Do not do it. It's a recipe for frustration and not seeing results. The 4th reason, you're not being at least 85% consistent with your calories over the course of a long period of time. I had a lady recently reach out to me via Instagram DMs. She's a very kind lady, and she was like, Eric, I don't know what to do. I'm very frustrated. I'm not losing weight. I'm eating 1,500 calories. I'm doing this. I'm doing my cardio. I'm doing my strength training. I'm doing everything right. Why am I not seeing results? So the only thing I sent back to her was, over the last 31 days, I want you to tell me how many days you hit your calories and how many days you either did not hit your calories and or did not track your calories. And she responded, it took her like a day or two to respond, but she responded with, okay, I'm not gonna lie. Over the past 31 days, I went back and looked. I hit my calories 14 days, I did not hit my calories and or just didn't track 15 days. So basically, she was about 50% consistent. And I simply asked her, hey, do you think that's consistent enough to see progress? And she was like, no, it's not. And she was like, honestly, honest to God, I thought I was being as consistent as I possibly humanly could be. Like, I forgot about that time where I had that weekend where I didn't track calories. I forgot about that time where I went over my calories because I went out to eat with my spouse. I forgot about that time where just did not track calories because it was a crazy day and so on and so forth. And you watching this might be able to relate. I challenge you, go back, if you're using, for example, MyFitnessPal, go back in your log and look, like, how many days did you hit your calories? And how many days did you either not track, because people do that a lot, and or not hit your calories? If you're not at least 85% consistent over those last 31 days, which would be about 26-ish days, 27-ish days consistent, you're not being consistent enough to see results. I don't care what your calorie limit is or is not. If you're not being at least 85% consistent, you're not gonna see results. So I challenge you, go back and look at that because that will tell you a lot. And this is why tracking your consistency is very, very, very important because oftentimes, like, you're probably not doing this out of malicious intent. Like, you honestly probably believe with all of your heart that I'm being consistent as I possibly can. Like, I know for a fact I'm killing it. And you go back and look and you're like, oh, holy shit, I've only been 64% consistent. No wonder why I'm not seeing results. And I think oftentimes not only do you get, life happens, right? It's like it's very easy to forget about that weekend you didn't track calories or that day you didn't track your dinner or this here and that there. Those things happen just because life is very busy and you're a very, very busy individual. But also number two, it's like always in this dieting mindset. People tell me all the time, I've been on a diet for 20 years. Like, no, you haven't because you'd be skin and bones and you'd probably be dead by now, right? Because if you're in a calorie deficit for 20 years, you would be dwindled down to nothing. You're in a dieting mindset this entire time. So even though you think you're being consistent, in reality, you're in this dieting mindset of like restricting calories and then going over calories and then restricting calories more and trying to lose weight and like all these things are going on in your head and it kind of deters you from the fact of like the facts of, oh, holy shit, I've only hit my calories 12 out of the past 31 days. No wonder why I'm not seeing results. So this is a huge, huge thing. On top of these things right here, if you're not doing this, you're not gonna see results. So you mean like the weekends count towards my diet or? And the last one, number 5, like I said, I know this is you. You've been in a calorie deficit for 69 hours and you think you should be taking on the world and seeing all the progress possible. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna happen in a week. It's not gonna happen in a month. It's not gonna happen in 3 months. It took you 5, 10, 15, 40, 50 years to gain all this weight. You're not gonna lose all the weight in 3 days. You're not gonna lose all the weight in a week. You're not gonna lose all the weight in a month. It is going to take time. You need to be patient, which I know is very difficult, especially in the time we live in. Everything is 24/7. You're watching this on your phone right now. Your phone gives you constant updates every single second of every single day. You can look up anything you want to. You can order food whenever you want to. It's very right here and now. But the sooner you understand that this weight loss is not going to be a quick fix, is not going to happen right now, is going to take time, is going to take effort. You're gonna have to be in a calorie deficit for more than 3 days to know if it's really working. So what I tell people is for 4 weeks straight, 28 days, for 4 weeks straight, you have to be, and if you're watching this, you have to be at least 90% consistent over a 4-week period of time to know if your calorie deficit is working or not. You can't go by a week. You can't go by 2 weeks. You can't go by 3 weeks. 4 weeks, 90% consistent with all these things I just said right here. I have a strong feeling if you do that, you will see all the progress you're looking for and then some because consistency breeds results. Consistency over a long period of time breeds results. Not perfection, not consistency over a 1 week span where you're perfect for 1 week and you're off for 1 week and then perfect for 2 weeks and off for 3 weeks. Consistency, time and time and time again, that is what is going to breed results. So you have to make sure you are aware of that and you have to make sure you give it time. 4 weeks, 90% consistency, that is what you have to do. Wait a minute, so you're telling me like I have to do this for more than a week to see results? Fuck this. 5 reasons why you are in a calorie deficit but not losing weight. And now this one last disclaimer, I have to say this because if you are strength training, if you're lifting weights, if you're building muscle, what can happen is you can be in a calorie deficit and not lose weight. And a ton of my clients have had this happen, especially if you are newer to strength training or if you recently started a new strength training program, because what can happen is two things. Number one, when you start a strength training program, your body is going to retain a bit more water weight in the beginning because of two reasons. Number one, you're going to have your workouts, right? Your workouts produce inflammation in your muscles because when you work out, you tear your muscle fibers apart. So your body has to have inflammation inside your body. Just dropped my pen. Your body has to have inflammation inside your muscle cells to make sure they get repaired. This is a good thing because you're going to see your body change over time. You're going to build more muscle definition, build more strength, and so on and so forth. It's a good thing. But in the short term, that's going to cause some water retention, right? So that's number one. Number two, when you first start working out, when you first start strength training, your body's going to hold on to more water weight because what happens is there's something called glycogen in your muscle cells, which can essentially store water, but that's a good thing because you want that, because you need that to have good workouts and grow stronger, more defined muscles. So in the beginning, your glycogen stores can go up, which is going to store more water weight in the short term. Both those things are short term, but let's just say over a 3 or 4 week span, if you lost 3 pounds of fat, but you either, number one, but you either, let's say you lost 3 pounds of fat, but you're retaining 3 pounds of water from the inflammation, from the glycogen, so on and so forth, the scale wouldn't move that much. But this is why, and this happens very often with my clients, the first few weeks they don't really move much, and then the third, fourth, fifth week they have a big drop down. And that's because they're just flushing out that water weight. That's totally normal. That comes with strength training. So that's number one. But also number two, let's say you're new to strength training and you're building lean muscle mass, which again is very possible. Let's say over a 4 week span, you lost 4 pounds of fat from your stomach, but you gained 2 pounds of muscle on your glutes, 1 pound of muscle on your shoulders, 1 pound of muscle on your thighs. That's 4 pounds and 4 pounds. The scale wouldn't change because 4 pounds of fat weighs the same as 4 pounds of muscle. So the scale wouldn't change, but your measurements would go down and your progress pictures would look different. That's why you have to take body weight measurements every 2 weeks and progress pictures every 4 weeks. So if that's going on, the scale might not move much, and that's okay because you can still be in a calorie deficit and not lose weight. There's a difference between losing weight and losing fat, okay? So that is the little last disclaimer there for you. So I hope this video helped you. If it did, please feel free to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If it helped you as well, please feel free to drop a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Any questions, any concerns, again, drop them below. Love to hear from you, and we will talk soon. All right?